Welcome to today's video, where we will explore some key optimizations you can make to your Windows 11 operating system for higher FPS in gaming.
It'll remove all those built-in bloatware apps like Xbox, Netflix, Pinterest and so many more that are pre-installed on Windows 11 by default, which then leaves you with this super clean, fast operating system from the get-go. After that, you want to make a restore point just in case you have any issues or problems. If you do, you can simply revert all the changes back with ease, like you can see on screen right here. Moving on, in the Windows settings, you want to head into System, scroll down to Notifications where you'll see two boxes. Make sure to uncheck Offer Suggestions and uncheck Get Tips. This will disable those super annoying stutter causing pop-ups on Windows. Down from that, you'll see Storage Sense, which automatically frees up space. Make sure this is turned off, as we'll do this manually so it doesn't run in the background while we're gaming.
And then head across to Windows Update at the very bottom. When you see this page over here, simply click Check for Updates and wait for it to finish. If any updates are found, make sure to install them and then restart your computer and return to this video, as we'll be following through with steps from there. Making sure Windows is the most up-to-date it can be is one of the few most important steps towards a better running computer. Of course, for me, a couple of updates were found, so I'll let these finish and then restart my computer. Something Windows Update struggles with is downloading and installing the latest NVIDIA or AMD drivers, so you need to go ahead and do this manually. In the description down below, you'll find links to both the NVIDIA and AMD website where you can go ahead and download the latest driver available. I only have an NVIDIA graphics card, so that's all I'll be showing you here. Clicking the NVIDIA link will take you across to nvidia.com/enus GeForce drivers. On this page over here, simply make sure to click Download Now right under Automatic Driver Updates. This will download GeForce Experience, which you can then open up, install, and follow through with the on-screen instructions. You'll notice an update button somewhere within the software. Simply just click that and your drivers will be updated to the latest version available. If you're on AMD, however, you'll be taken across to this page over here. Once again, simply click Download Now right under Auto Detect and Install, then simply follow through with the installation instructions and you should be running the latest version of your graphics driver as well. This is something that's going to give you a huge performance increase, especially if you have a much older driver installed through Windows Update or simply none at all. And then finally, before we get to some serious optimization, it's a very good idea to uninstall software that you're not actively using, as we'll be cleaning up a lot of caches and things like that later. So getting this out of the way early is pretty important. Either head across to the Apps section on the left-hand side and then Apps and Features, then run through the list here and uninstall apps that you don't use. Note that apps and programs will be shown together over here. Unlike if you hit Start, type in Control and open up Control Panel, then head across to Uninstall a Program under Programs and you look at the Programs here. These are only desktop programs and they don't include Windows apps like this screen over here. If you use the Windows App Store to download and install apps or games, you'll only find them in this Apps section of the Windows settings over here. So simply find software that you don't use anymore, click the button and simply click Uninstall, or if you're using this over here, right click and then click Uninstall. Pretty simple. We're going to try and get rid of as much software that we don't actively use and software that's just left laying around.
Next, on your desktop, you want to press the Windows key and R. A run box will appear. Inside, you want to type in temp, then allow permissions. You then want to press Ctrl A to select all the temporary files, and then you can delete all of them by pressing delete key. It'll state that some of them can't be deleted, which is okay. Just do this for all current items and skip it. Inside the run box again, you want to type in %temp, % again. Then you want to select all of them by pressing Ctrl A. Then you can go ahead and delete them all via the delete key again, and then follow the same process as before. And for the final one, you want to type in prefetch, then grant the permission, select all the files again, and then delete them all yet again. Back in the Windows settings, but under the gaming tab this time, you want to select Xbox Game Bar. What you want to do is make sure that this is disabled, as there's way better alternatives out there such as Shadowplay and OBS. In addition, you can go into game mode. Now some people like to have this enabled, such as myself. I find it's better for FPS, but some people also like to disable it as they find that they get better performance having it disabled. So it's one of them you just have to test out for yourselves. In settings again, this time go into apps. Under apps and features, you'll notice there's a ton of apps that you probably don't use and they're taking up resources as we speak. So just go through all these apps and remove any of them that are completely useless to you, as I'm doing here on screen. Under startup apps, it's pretty much the same principle. Simply turn off any startup apps that you don't think you need to start up with your PC. It's the same thing where they'll be taking up resources when they don't have to. You can see some have higher impact than others. Just go through and see which ones that you don't need to start up with your PC. I would highly recommend that you focus more so on the higher impact apps more than anything. In the settings, yet again, you want to go into privacy and security. Inside the general tab, you want to make sure all of these 4 options right here are disabled, as they're pretty much useless for most people out there. Also in speech, I like to disable this setting as I really don't use it. If you use it, you might want to keep it on. I also like to disable that diagnostics and feedback option too. I don't really require it, so I like to take it off. Oh, as well, I like to scroll down a bit and disable any of these apps that I don't have any use for. Like location, most of the time I do it on my phone, so I like to disable options like this. But do this at your own risk. Make sure you're disabling stuff that you don't actually use. If you use it, you want to keep it enabled. Finally, in the settings tab again, this time you want to go into accessibility. If you scroll down to mouse, then click on the mouse at the bottom, then click on additional mouse settings. In the properties, go under pointer options, then simply uncheck pointer precision. This setting right here is mouse acceleration, and if you uncheck it, you are essentially disabling it, which is what we want because mouse accel is awful for gaming. Next, you want to open up the Windows search and type in command prompt. Then you want to select run as administrator. This is important, and then click yes on the confirmation. Inside here, you want to type in the following command. That's dism/online/cleanup-image/check health. This will verify any data corruption that may be on your PC that could be responsible for lower FPS or stutters. But once the scan does complete, if there is anything that flags up that there probably won't be, it will fix it automatically for you, which is great. In addition to that, there's another command, that's sfc/scan-now. This verifies the integrity of every protected operating system file on your computer, and when the scan does eventually complete, it'll either say that everything's good and there was no problems found, or it'll fix any problems that do pop up. So it's a really good idea to run both of those. Again, in the Windows search, this time type in services, then you want to click on the application. These are all the services that are running currently in the background of your PC, and what we're going to do is disable some of the useless ones that are taking up PC resources. The first one is fax. If you don't use a fax machine, you definitely want to disable this, as you can see I'm doing on screen. Secondly, we're going to select wallet service. This is another one that I myself don't use, so I like to go ahead and disable that one as well, as I don't find myself using the Windows wallet in any way, so I'll go ahead and disable it. Thirdly is the Windows Insider service. If you're like me and you're not interested in being in the Insider program for Windows, you can go ahead and disable this with ease, as I'm doing on screen right here. Yet again, in the search, this time you want to type in edit power plan, then click on the option. Then you want to select change advanced power settings, and by default you can see that it is unbalanced, which is actually beneficial for most people out there that use medium to high end PCs. I'd probably just keep it on that if you are so. But there's also a high performance option as well, which if you do want more FPS, especially those on low end PCs, I'd highly recommend selecting that option. Finally, in the search, you want to type in adjust the appearance and performance of Windows, and then select the control panel option, and inside the performance options right here, you want to select adjust for best performance, and you can see it swiftly removes all these settings. But we need some basic Windows functionality, so what we're going to do now is select 5 of these different settings on screen right now. Once you've ticked those 5 boxes, you are all good to go.
Click the search button below and then type NVIDIA control panel, and bam, here it is in the best match results. Go ahead and open it, and then from there go to where it says 3D settings and then click manage 3D settings. Great, and now where it says graphics processor, go ahead and select NVIDIA high performance graphics processor, and now go to where it says configure sound physics, and you are going to choose the same settings. Great, so now under physics processor settings, you are going to select your NVIDIA graphics card. Alright, the second way is by using Windows 11's graphics settings. Very simple here as well. Simply click search and then type graphics settings. Great, so now go ahead and select that from the best match results, and here you go. Here are the graphic settings. If you don't see your app or game here, that's okay. Add it by clicking where it says browse, and now you would have the option to add apps from the Microsoft Store or the regular desktop apps. Now if you choose Microsoft Store apps, right away you are going to see a list of apps in front of you. That's really easy. But if the app you're trying to add is a regular desktop app, you may have to dig a bit more, but that's okay. It's still very easy to do. So now simply click browse and then select desktop app. Go to where it says computer, go to your main hard drive. Now usually when you go to the computer area on File Explorer, you see several drives. The one that has the Windows logo on it, that's your main hard drive. So now click that, and then now go to where it says program files or program files x86, depending on the app you're using. And then there you go. Here are the list of apps. In my case here, I'm gonna try to look for Adobe Photoshop, and let me click the Adobe folder, and here it is, Adobe Photoshop, and there you go, there you go. Let me select that, and bam, here you go. I've added Adobe Photoshop. And now from this point I can click options and make Photoshop use my NVIDIA graphics card as the default GPU. It's that simple, guys. For more videos like this, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.